Sometimes you watch a movie and it's a wild ride. Action, adventure, edge of your seat thrills. Horror films can be chilling, sometimes even nauseating with blood and gore. But then there's a different kind of fear. A fear that, depending on your personal phobias, might be worse than any blood-soaked slasher. Fall, a 2022 movie, proves that you don't need guts spilling across the screen to make your heart race. If you have even the slightest fear of heights or falling, this movie will conjure up fresh, menacing nightmares. This is Atomic Vertigo Reviews, and this is a review of Fall. Directed by Scott Mann, Fall stars Grace Carolyn Currey as Becky Connor and Virginia Gardner as Shiloh Hunter. Becky and Hunter, along with Becky's husband Dan, are thrill-seeking climbers. The movie opens with the trio scaling the side of a mountain. Becky and Dan cautious, but experienced, while Hunter speeds ahead, more daring and reckless. Then tragedy strikes. Dan falls and dies. A year later, Becky is still reeling from the loss. She is withdrawn, emotionally wrecked, and estranged from her father, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. After a confrontation with him, she contemplates ending her life. That's when Hunter, whom she hasn't seen since Dan's death, shows up unexpectedly. It turns out Becky's father asked Hunter to check in on her. Hunter wastes no time and suggests something outrageous. She and Becky should climb a 2,000-foot abandoned TV tower out in the desert. Despite Becky's trauma, specifically caused by falling from great heights, she agrees. Part of her motivation is to scatter Dan's ashes from the top of the tower. Becky recalls something Dan used to say: "If you're scared of dying, don't be afraid to live." In the movie, it's delivered as if it's profound wisdom, but really it's just another way of saying live life to the fullest. Don't overthink it. Just brace yourself for a visual thrill ride that will have you squirming in your seats, especially if you've ever felt weak in the knees on a high balcony. Before the climb, Becky discovers that Hunter has become a kind of daredevil life hacker YouTuber. She even shows Becky a stunt that clearly has future plot importance. No spoilers, but yes, it comes back later. The next morning, they reach the tower. On the way, they see vultures feasting on a carcass. An ominous bit of foreshadowing. Throughout the film, the vultures reappear and seem to symbolize the grief and trauma consuming Becky. Eventually, Becky must confront them, just as she must confront her inner demons. After an intense climb, Becky and Hunter reach the top. But as expected, things go terribly wrong. The ladder collapses, leaving them stranded 2,000 feet in the air, with no cell signal and no way down. In a slightly convenient twist, there's a small box at the top of the tower containing binoculars and a flare gun. Apparently, the tower's builders were optimistic with a flair for drama. Becky suffers an injury during the collapse, though the importance of that wound seems to vary depending on the needs of the plot. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it's ignored. The rest of the film is a series of escalating crises, each worse than the last. Murphy's Law is in full effect. If it can go wrong, it does. There are moments that make you want to rewind and check what you just saw, and one particular revelation adds emotional tension between the two friends. The vulture motif continues, with the birds attacking Becky's wounds, a raw, literal manifestation of her emotional scars. Eventually, she fights back, kills one, and even eats it. As grotesque as that moment is, it is a clear turning point. Becky starts to take control, begins to survive, not just physically, but emotionally. Her trauma, symbolized by the vulture, no longer controls her. Amid this ordeal, Becky realizes she regrets pushing her father away. The movie gives us a brief resolution of their conflict, another beat in her journey towards healing. Fall is an entertaining, high-stakes survival thriller. If you don't think too hard about the plot holes, you're in for a good time. The characters are broad archetypes. Hunter is the over-the-top thrill junkie, while Becky is the grief-stricken widow searching for purpose. There's little nuance, but the film isn't really aiming for that. Its goal is to get you to the tower, and then leave you there, squirming and anxious. The estranged father subplot? Barely explored. Becky's grief? A convenient backstory to justify this insane climb. But honestly, that's fine. This isn't a deep character study. It's a visual roller coaster designed to make your palms sweat. The movie nails the tension, and while it might seem implausible, the pacing and suspense keep you hooked. One thing after another goes wrong, each new twist stacking dread on top of vertigo. Is there a message? Maybe something like life is short, do something crazy? But don't expect it to hold up to scrutiny. Fall is more about adrenaline than introspection. It's the kind of movie you can't look away from, unless of course you're afraid of heights. Then you might find yourself peeking through your fingers. Is it over the top? Yes. Fun? Definitely. And sometimes that's all you need from a movie. So grab some popcorn, find a friend or two, and get ready for a tense, dizzying ride. Fall may not be profound, but it delivers on thrills, and that's what makes it worth watching. This is Atomic Vertigo Reviews. Please like and subscribe.